This is dumb. Hey guys, it's the Pink King here. Now, in all honesty, I did not want to make this video. I would much rather move on and talk about other more interesting stuff, like Transformers 1, which I just reviewed. But I feel it necessary to respond to the recent backlash a video of mine has gotten a few days ago. Why, you ask? Am I milking it? Am I adding fuel to the fire? No. Honestly, just no. I'm just trying to lay this to bed because it's just so stupid, man. So that's why this video will be my first and last video talking about this situation, because honestly, I'm just tired at this point. It's just so dumb, the toxicity coming out of this, so I'm just going to respectfully defend myself here because I feel there's a lot to learn here and to correct some mistakes I made, because if you're a regular of my channel, you already know I'm someone who values honesty and being fair over everything else. So, let's start simple. My video was my opinion. Whenever I make these videos, it's what I feel about certain things and topics, from what I've seen. This is what I think. As a reviewer, I'm not here to tell you what to enjoy or not to enjoy. I have always encouraged people to differ in my opinions. That's why at the end of every video I do, I ask for people's thoughts on something. And from there, it's really your decision on what to do. You can agree, or you can disagree with me. That's perfectly fine. But spamming DMs with hateful comments, and some people even told me to end myself, to put it lightly, is a point that's just going way too far. And at that point, you're way worse than whatever I said. Not to mention how strangely people have taken what I said in my video so personally. Like this user, who for whatever reason has been acting like a child essentially, showing my posts online as if it's a gotcha moment. Not to mention trying to say I'm mad when you had to take one of my YouTube posts on Twitter because you were salty, as well as spamming my replies on Twitter because you were mad I don't have the same opinion as you. The irony, it's palpable. But before we talk about this more in depth, I just want to give a quick thank you to the support my last video got. It's not every day I get a video that's over 10k with views, with people coming out to watch it and giving their honest opinions, with people having a lot to agree with me on and people having a lot to disagree with me on. It was very nice talking to you all and getting to see all your guys' perspectives on things. And also, allow me to clarify, when I talk about a toxic fan, I'm not referring to every Helluva Boss fan here. I know there are a lot of fans who are genuinely level-headed people who actually heard me out. And although we may not agree on certain things, it was still nice to talk to you and see your insight, because ultimately at the end of the day, that's all I want to do. Open the door in conversations I feel are important and that nobody else has really talked about. And with conversations like that come criticism. I, as a reviewer, must use criticism in order to fairly assess people's content. Because if I don't, then any issues that are there will never get fixed. And despite the fact I have talked negatively about Helluva Boss in the past, I have also showered it in praise when it truly deserved it. Because I, as a reviewer, am fair with what I cover. If something genuinely improves or proves me wrong, I will happily talk about it, because my goal's not to hate on something, but rather to point out its flaws so it can be corrected in future. I love media and I just want it to get better. So let's just make some corrections real quick. No, criticism does not equal attacking. When I criticize Helluva Boss, it's because I see errors that can be improved. My criticisms have always remained neutral. I criticize the show for its problematic characters, plot, and stories, to name a few things. Things that I am not the first person to acknowledge or criticize. After all, look at most other reviews and you'll see people having issues with the same things I do. But for whatever reason, whenever I talk about it, I am apparently attacking the creators like VivzyPop. This claim is just so funny to me because a lot of people are so quick to throw out the attack claims, but they don't realize they are the very thing they're trying to call me out for. I have never once attacked VivzyPop's character. There's definitely stuff you could criticize her character for, but I'm not interested in her personal life because it's irrelevant to what I'm covering. So that's why I don't mention it. However, for some reason, people see I'm critical of her work, so just assume I'm attacking her. With people spamming hate and just straight up lies, it just goes to show people really measure others with a different stick they use to measure themselves. And what's funnier is that most of these people who spam hate don't even watch the video. How do I know this? Well, it's because of the accusation I used clickbait. And if you have actually watched the video, you know that's complete bullshit. In particular, this thumbnail. It perfectly portrays my views and how I believe the Amazing Digital Circus is doing great at the moment, and how I feel Helluva Boss is doing awful at the moment. Both in success-wise and how Helluva Boss has gone on a downward spiral compared to where he used to be, and critically. I made my points for why I thought this in my video. So I gotta ask, where's the clickbait? Because last I checked, clickbait is the practice of writing sensationalized media or misleading headlines to attract clicks on a piece of content. So what clickbait means is lying in something like a thumbnail when the video has nothing to do with it, or if it's made to mislead to get attention. So again, I ask, where's the clickbait? I point out everything and more in the video compared to the thumbnail, so where's the clickbait? Well, when I tried to ask some of these people who accused me of it, and why they thought it, they just changed the topic. First they say it's misleading, and then I explain why it's not misleading. And when I say that, they change it to saying, oh, it looks like I'm being negative on Helluva Boss graphics in the back. What? Not only can they not give me a straight, concrete answer, but they move the goalpost every time I correct them. Then came the accusation it's rage bait. And again, no, it's my honest opinion. Hell, it probably would be clickbait if I were to make it look like it was good only to criticize it heavily in my video. That would be clickbait. Not to mention, other people have done this also. So are they rage baiting too? Of course not, it's their opinion, and if you don't like the opinion or the thumbnail, then don't watch it. I'm not forcing you to watch this. If you don't like how a video looks, don't watch it. That's what I do. Not to mention, the method I make these videos is really hard to clickbait people because I make my thumbnails before the video in order to get an understanding to what my video will be and what I'm going to talk about. And look, it's not always been perfect, as I intended. There have been mistakes I've made, but I'm always willing to admit when I do make a mistake and correct that mistake. In fact, if you're gonna call this clickbait, then might as well call all of this clickbait as well, right? After all, my thumbnail follows the same principles as all of these, so which is it? This is actual clickbait by the awful Nerdrotic. That is actual clickbait, my friends. And that's the reason why I didn't change my thumbnail, because I didn't see it as clickbait. I still feel it accurately portrays what's in the video, so I'm not going to change it. But I did change the title. The title was the only thing you could say was close to clickbait. It wasn't my intention, but that's how it came across, so I changed it to a more neutral title. And the final thing I want to talk about was people saying I tried to make animation a competition. I thought it was obvious, but apparently I gotta explain this. No, I'm not making it a competition, I'm comparing it. I compared Helluva Boss to Digital Circus because both shows, to me, are very similar in certain aspects. Both are the faces of indie animation at the moment, both have main elements of trauma, both have a large, crude cast, and both are created by very inexperienced creators who share a lot of fans. I used Helluva Boss as a frame of reference to show how not to execute these ideas, and the Amazing Digital Circus to how to correctly use them. Because I feel the Amazing Digital Circus is proof to why my points on Helluva Boss are true. Not to mention, people have been comparing things forever, even stuff that makes no sense to compare. But they and I feel there's something to talk about here that nobody else has mentioned. That was it. I was not trying to throw unnecessary hate at the creators as some people thought. Hell, I never even said Gooseworks' name in that video once. Also, side note, happy birthday Gooseworks. I saw that the other day and I just want to say happy birthday. I'll say it again, both creators are fantastic artists who can make great work. I will always hold respect for them even if I don't like what they make, as I too have made animations in the past. And I'll tell you firsthand, it's not easy doing this on your own. I will always support animation. I'm always going to be on its side. Hell, I've gone out of my way to defend art several times. But being supportive also means you have to be honest. Me being critical is not me trying to shame you or the creators. It's me trying to explain the issues so that they hopefully get improved in the future. Because nothing is perfect. Everything requires at least a little bit of criticism to be great, and that's the point of improvement, to improve upon the mistakes you made in the past. And that's the point of art. You're supposed to compare it, because if you don't, what else do you have to reference to say whether or not it's good? Art is supposed to be comparable. If they give us something that feels lazy, then I won't be afraid to say it, because if you want your media to improve, you need to be honest with yourself. And that's where I feel a lot of the backlash to my video was unjustified. Because people mostly saw I was negative on it, and since they're fans, they feel the need to defend it. Look, I'm a fan of Helluva Boss as well. I wouldn't talk about it so many times if I wasn't a real fan of it. But that's why I am so critical of it, because I see how it can be improved, because they've shown they can be good. Like with Vivzy Pop, there are good Helluva Boss episodes, and just look at Has Been Hotel, I loved that show. So seeing Helluva Boss go down a much more generic and fanficky route, it just disappoints me as a fan, and so I feel the need to call it out. Art is subjective. It's gonna have different opinions, so enjoy what you want to enjoy. And don't be a toxic fan who automatically makes assumptions because you don't like a thumbnail. If you don't like a thumbnail, don't watch it, simple as that. Don't spam the same hate comments without even seeing what the video it is that you're hating. Listen, and even if you disagree with me, that's okay. I've always welcomed other people's opinions. I will still welcome people's opinions. Just because we don't agree doesn't mean we can't show each other respect. Because if I'm ever wrong, then just say why you think so in the comments. I leave that option to you all the time. I know I can come across as an arsehole sometimes, trust me. But I'm always going to be nice and understanding to others who are with me. You like your things, I like my things, it's not that deep, so don't take it personally. Because it's not personal to you or your favourite creators. And with that, it's been the Pink King here. Once again, let's talk in the comments. I'm always looking at what you guys have to say, and I will always show you guys the same amount of respect you show me. I just want to talk about the stuff I like, man, leave me alone. Also, if you guys are interested, I will be hosting an art competition tomorrow, where I will be looking at and shouting out some really talented artists' work. So, please feel free to stay tuned and watch that video tomorrow. And with that, it's been the Pink King here, and I'll see you all next time.